We've been campaigning against cuts and outsourcing at the Whittington for more than 2 years now, and during this time hundreds of thousands has been spent by Whittington Health to pay consultants, for example Unipart's consultants. Plans for a sell-off of land, presumably drawn up with the help of these private consultants, ended up being scrapped last year after local protests. According to the Camden New Journal, 10 board members have resigned since then. So it should be no surprise that local people are angry and want answers about the future of the hospital. A number of points were raised in our letter to you ahead of the meeting, which you gave partial answers to, but important questions remain. Firstly, regarding medical secretarial work at the hospital, and our question of how many redundancies had been made as a result of contracting Dictat IT for digital dictation. You answered none, but it has been reported in the press that medical secretarial posts have been made redundant. You want to know how many medical secretarial posts have been made redundant, not how many people, which seems to be the basis for your answer. We think it's no coincidence that digital dictation work is now being done by a private company. Secondly, it's clear from your letter that the ISIS short stay ward is under threat of closure, as you admit it's under review. Local people are not convinced that the real reason for this review is patient safety and experience as opposed to cutting costs. When will we know what the plans are? Similarly, you make no bones about the very real possibility of further outsourcing of hospital contracts to private providers. How the private sector can help, we do not know. We have seen the recent example of Hitchingbrook Hospital, where private company Circle walked away from the hospital, saying that the contract was not viable, which for them means profitable. This illustrates the very obvious point that hospitals cannot be run like businesses, where unprofitable activities can just be scrapped. What is the Trust Board doing to push back against cuts that are being made to funding for frontline services? For example, were you among the hospital trusts that wrote to Monitor recently to protest against further reductions in the government tariff, which are the payments for hospital treatments, and are starving hospitals of essential funds through the cut to the tariff? If you're serious about protecting this hospital, then we would welcome you to join our protests and the Defend Whittington Hospital Coalition. If you stand up to the government, local people will back you. Finally, when the plans for cuts and the land sell-off were shelved, the chair of the board, Steve Hitchens, said at a public meeting of Defend Whittington Hospital Coalition that the plan would still be to apply for foundation status at a later date. Is this still the case? If so, when will the public hear the plans and will it necessitate more cuts?
Okay, thank you very much for that. We said we'd accept the petition. We're not in a position to answer those questions here, but I know colleagues have been taking detailed note of that, and we'll reply to you at the same address as your letter. Thank you very much.
And it is worth saying that we are in regular contact with the Defender, the Whittington Coalition, and I've attended a recent meeting. And I've always said to the convener of the coalition that I'm very happy to sit down with groups of people and discuss those issues over and beyond a written response.
So we're very grateful that you did write to us and made your intention to attend this meeting apparent, and I hope you think that we've heard what you said and taken attention to it.